Our next guest believes that in today's world, to be successful, you need financial education, but that's not something that you can necessarily learn in school. Parents need to take an active role in discussing money, financial planning, and budgeting to teens. Tyrell Jackson is the creator and founder of the Wealthy Investor Program. Nice to have you here, Tyrell.
Thank you. So wonderful to be here with you.
Talk to me a little bit about your background and how the program got started.
Well, it was interesting. You know, I was raised in a place called Staten Island, New York.
I've heard of that.
That's right. A lot of people have. By a single mother who struggled constantly and knew nothing about money or wealth or stocks. And as I grew older, I was just so curious about it. And today I have a seminar business where I teach people how to trade in the stock market because I've lived my financial dreams.
That's fantastic. So today we're going to tackle 5 things that you say parents should do to teach their children about money. The first one is have the discussion to talk about money.
That's exactly right. You know, we live in one of the greatest countries of the world, but money is the thing that we discuss the least. It's the thing that we know the least about. There's a lot of fear and shame about it. But, you know, success financially is nothing but a series of positive habits. And if we don't get in the habit of talking to our kids about money and investments, guess what? It's like playing pool in the dark. They make money, but they don't know what to do with it.
Well, then what's the best approach to doing that? Do you just sit your teen down and say, hey, this is what you should be doing? Or
well, you want your kids to develop a positive financial consciousness, right? So you want them to know that when you make a little bit, you save a little bit. When you make a little bit, you invest a little bit. And to today's world, technology's made it such that anybody can go and look at a stock chart online, a company like Google or Disney or ExxonMobil, McDonald's, etc. All
right, and you say it's important to discuss family investments.
Yeah, you know, Teresa, this is really interesting because that's one thing that people really don't do. Money is like a secret, right? So we really don't ask our parents, how much do you have in a life insurance policy? How many savings accounts do you have? You have an investment account. And why is this important? Because if something happened to them, you want to be able to step in and be able to support them.
All right. Next, you talk about what's in the budget rather than emphasizing what we can't afford. I've heard this my whole life. Money doesn't grow on trees.
That's correct.
But you say, you know, talk about the other thing, what you can get.
That is correct. By constantly telling your kids, we can't afford, we can't afford, we can't afford, you risk your kid developing a deprivation consciousness. Right, by saying that this is what we have in our spending plan, this is how much we're spending on vacation this year, your kid gets a sense that there's some sort of order and structure in your life financially.
All right, next you say disclose stock market and retirement holdings. Do you think that's necessary for teens?
Yes, no, not for teens.
Okay.
But as your kid graduates from college and becomes a little bit more financially responsible, you want to show them a picture of your financial life so they have a sense of like, oh, but what my mom and dad did, because that's what they're going to do when it's time to raise their family.
That's great advice.
The next question everybody always asks me is, when do you talk to your kids about money if they're a teen?
That's true, yeah.
And I have a golden rule. You ready?
Absolutely.
When they want something over $100 or more,
that's it, huh?
that's when you're going to talk to them about investing. So, for example, I have 2 lovely daughters, and you know, at our house we have stock market Sundays, where after Daddy cooks, we sit down and we talk about the stock market, which stocks have gone higher and why. And when they started wanting iPhones and iPads, guess what? It was time to talk about Apple stock, right? Because if we're going to spend the money on the product, then they may want to participate as owners in the company.
That's great. And it keeps them interested in it too, right?
That is correct.
Because they can relate to whatever they want.
That's the whole idea, is that it's not just a chart. It's a real life company and a product that they use.
I like that. And Tyrell, when you say it's important for the parents to be educated themselves, you want to have an example.
Well, here's the thing. You know, we can't pass on something that we don't have, right? So if I'm a parent, I have to be financially educated. I have to understand the difference between what an investment is and what savings is, right? So I'm going to put money at risk buying a stock like Google or Coca-Cola. I have to understand what that risk is so I can pass that on to my child. So
just become educated about it, right?
Well, start somewhere. Yeah. I mean, the most important thing is that most people would actually have more wealth today if they knew how to invest in the stock market. We have wonderful things, you know, we've got Facebook that's public, we've got Twitter that just went public. What does that mean and how do you participate on it? That's one of the things, that's the game you really want to get in on, because that's the wealth game.
I like it. Tyrell, where can we find more information about you?
Well, all you have to do is go to my website. We have a free ebook. It's thewealthyinvestor.net. That's thewealthyinvestor.net. There's a lot of online classes that we do and a lot of things that could really help people out.
All right, and there it is right on the screen. Tyrell Jackson, The Wealthy Investor. And again, the website is thewealthyinvestor.net. Thanks so much for sharing all those tips.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Good to meet you.
This winter,